friends, and welcome back to today's video. One of the biggest questions I see out there, besides what kind of internet should I get when I'm on the road, is what type of RV is right for me? That's really a loaded question, as there are so many different types of RVs and so many things to consider. So I thought in this video, I would go through the different types of mobile homes kind of thing that are out there. What's the difference between a motorhome and what's the difference between an RV, which is a recreational vehicle. I'll talk about the different types that are there. I'll talk about some of the pros and cons, and then I'll talk about why I chose the one that I have. So stay through to the end to get all the tips and tricks. But before we continue, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you can get some more of my videos. Now, I'm not going to talk about brand. Everybody has their favorite. Asking somebody what their favorite brand of RV is like asking someone what their favorite football team is. Everybody has reasons for one to like one and not the other. So while there are some more well-known brands out there, this is really going to talk about types. What's the difference between a motorhome and an RV? So a motorhome includes the motor with the home. So this will be anything that you actually drive, and it's all enclosed into one. There are three categories when it comes to motorhomes. There's a Class A, and these can be fantastic in terms of space, comfort, amenities. But the downside to a Class A, of course, is size. So maybe that may not be anything for you. That's okay. It depends on what it is that you need, but they are the largest. They can also be really expensive because, again, not only are you buying the home, but you're also buying the motor to go with it. A Class B is what a lot of people think about when they think conversion vans. Everybody's on this hashtag van life. Some that might be considered a Class B have very limited amenities, maybe just a bed, maybe what we call a wet bath. And a wet bath is not really a shower, but kind of an area that you can wash yourself off. They might have some sort of a compost toilet or some sort of a small toilet. Some Class Bs might actually have cooking apparatus in them. These can also be very pricey, especially the new ones. You figure that they're taking all of these fancy gadgets and shoving it into a really small area. So these can be pricey, but the nice thing about Class Bs is they are small and you can take them anywhere and you can take them at any time. Class C is actually between a B and an A in terms of size. I know, doesn't make any sense, does it? But that's the way it is. A Class C is smaller than a Class A, and it doesn't have that flat line front that you generally see with an A. It is more drivability than an A, and it kind of drives more like a van, which would be more like your Class B. Class Cs also come in very different sizes. They come in different sizes. They come in different shapes. Some might have slides. Some might have not. Some might have the bed above the captain's chair. Some might have a rear bedroom. So layouts in a Class C can vary differently. But again, these can be also more pricey since you are buying the truck and the camper all at once. So those are your motorhomes, your Class A, your Class B, and your Class C. And with the motorhomes, what it doesn't come with is a separate vehicle to maybe go to the grocery store in, or if you want to go see the sights, or if you just want to go into town. So many people will tow a vehicle behind their Class A's or their Class C's. Let's talk a little bit about what an RV is. Again, there are lots of different types. So the first type is going to be what many call your travel trailer. Some might call these a bumper pole. These are what you would trail behind you, and they attach to your bumper. Again, these come in lots of different sizes and shapes. The RVs require a separate vehicle to tow. Towing weight, which I won't get into the details here too much, towing weight is a huge thing to think about when you think about the vehicle you have to tow your RV. Whether you own a truck or an SUV or maybe a Jeep, that's really going to help determine the size of the vehicle and the weight of the RV that you can get. And when you think about a travel trailer, Those are the ones that hook to your bumper and they go right behind your vehicle. Sometimes you can get them in a really small size, such as a teardrop or maybe a pop-up camper. These are lightweight, they have less amenities, and you can generally pull them with whatever SUV you might have. The larger travel trailers will require a truck. You're going to want to check on the towing capacity of your truck and the weight of your trailer to make sure you don't go over your limits. So then what's a fifth wheel? Other people call them a fiver. A fifth wheel attaches to the bed of your truck using a fifth wheel hitch. The nice thing about these fifth wheels are, in general, they're easier to tow than a travel trailer because a lot of that weight sits on top of your truck. And there's actually less sway side to side than you would get in a travel trailer. The downside to a fifth wheel is with the fifth wheel hitch is that it does take up room inside the bed of your truck. So you do lose kind of that storage space. Another difference between fifth wheels and travel trailers is fifth wheels generally will have a couple of steps to a separate room. In some fifth wheels, that separate room might be a bedroom, could be a living room, could even be a kitchen. But it is separated rather than in a travel trailer, which is all just one. If you plan on going the RV route and you don't already have the truck and you want to, the advice out there is to find the trailer, whether it's a travel trailer or a fifth wheel, find what fits for you first. Then go out and find the truck. And the reason for this is you don't know yet what kind of towing capacity you're going to need for that truck until you find the trailer. And you don't want to limit yourself. If you buy the truck first, you're now limited by the manufacturer's towing capacity, and you'll have to get a travel trailer or a fifth wheel that fits into that dimension. It's much better to go the other way around, find the home that you love, and then the vehicle to tow it. So those are your biggest differences between what is a motorhome and your different types of motorhomes, as well as what's an RV and some of your different types of RVs. When you're asking yourself, what RV is best for me? Honestly, nobody can answer that but you. Other people can give you advice on what works for them and maybe what to look for, which I'm going to talk about, but nobody can make that final decision for you. The number one thing you want to think about is, do you want to tow your home or do you want to tow a car? Right? So if you have the motorhome, you might tow a car, or you just want a van and I can just tootle around without worrying about another vehicle. Or maybe I already have a large truck, so towing a large fifth wheel is not an issue. So towing, that's your number one thing about. 2, size. Size is a big thing. You want to know, what size do you have? Do you have a large family that you need to put in there? Maybe it's just you. There are some size restrictions for some national parks. Some national parks, hard to find a spot to park in if you're more than 30 feet. So if you plan on hitting the national parks, that might be something to consider. How many slides you want, and that goes along with size, what makes you feel comfortable, which goes into layout. Layout is super important when you're looking at an RV. What's important about layout? Couple of things. One, you obviously want to feel comfortable. This is going to be your home. This is what you're going to be living in. So you want to make sure it's got a layout that feels right for you. Where you want your bedroom. This is a huge topic of conversation. A lot of people say it doesn't matter, but to some people, they prefer their bedroom up front where it's away from the rest of the trailer and it's quiet. Some say it's best to have it in the back because usually when you back into a location, now you've got your bedroom to the quietest part of the campground. The bathroom. A lot of people don't think about this, but consider we spend a lot of time in our bathroom. So you want to make sure that, is the toilet the right height? Do you have enough room between the toilet and the sink? The shower, is it tall enough for you, big enough for you? Another thing to consider with your layout is, what does your RV look like when your slides are closed? If you plan to travel with it and maybe you stop at a rest area for a break, you may not be able to open your slides. So what can't you get to? You want to make sure, can you get to your bedroom? Can you get to your bathroom? With mine, when my RV is closed, I can't access my kitchen. So when I travel, I have to put a cooler in the truck with me so I can have my drinks and my snacks. But yeah, it would be nice to be able to get to my refrigerator when I'm traveling on the road. the age of the vehicle. There are a lot of RV parks out there that don't accept old RVs. And old could be anywhere from 10 to 20 years old. Each one is kind of different. And some people say it's due to insurance reasons. Some people say it's because it's due to older rigs might break down and kind of be maybe an eyesore or have mechanical issues. They say lots of different things out there as to the reason why, but it is something to consider. Also, insurance companies. Some insurance companies you may have a harder time insuring your RV or motorhome if it's old, or your premiums might be higher if it's older. When I really didn't know what it is that I wanted, and I ended up going to an RV show, and I walked into so many different models, and I knew that that's what helped me decide what it is that I wanted as I went to see them. Okay, so I told you I was going to tell you a little bit about why I chose the RV that I was looking for. Originally, I was going to go for a Class B. That's what I wanted. I wanted a nice small van that I could just tootle around in and I didn't have to worry about it. And that was the first thing that I visited. And then I found out that was a little too small for me. I needed something that had a little bit more room in it. I do work from my RV, so I wanted to be able to have enough space for my work equipment, and be able to separate myself from that so I wasn't sitting on top of it all the time. I then went and looked at the Class C's. They're a little bit bigger, obviously, the Class B, and easier to drive. But same thing. I also found them to be a little cramped for my taste, but also I wanted to have a separate vehicle and I didn't want to tow the vehicle, which is why I ended up with my fifth wheel. My fifth wheel has a front bedroom, two slides in the living area, gives me a lot of space, and it's very comfortable for me. My needs were very limited with my fifth wheel. I just knew that I like space, but I also don't cook a lot, so I don't need an outdoor kitchen. I found those to be a waste. I didn't want an outside television. I wanted everything to be just as simple and inside as possible. And that is why I chose the fifth wheel that I currently have.